Okay, so let's use the KTMIDI library to create a Kotlin project for MIDI, either MIDI 1 or MIDI 2. So this is the GitHub page where all of the source is. This is where the developer has uploaded his work. You can find jar files or the sort of compiled Java files, JVM files, on the repo site for Maven. And in this case, I'm going to be looking at KTMIDI JVM version 0.8.2, and I'm going to include this into a Kotlin project. All right, so the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to download these jar files. So download linked file as, and I'm going to put this in downloads and Kotlin JVM jar files right there. So bingo. This next one, then that one, and then the module file, and the Maven POM file. That's the organization or build control file. I'm going to put that in there. Okay, so these are now inside of this folder right here. Next up, let's start a new IntelliJ project. So I'm going to say new project, and this is going to be a KTMIDI with Kotlin, I don't know, version 8. I've been doing a lot of these. It's going to be with Kotlin. I'm going to use IntelliJ as the build control tool here. I'm going to say add sample code just so that it adds in the boilerplate code. Advanced settings I shouldn't have to change. That's all good. I'm using JDK 21 right here. All right, so I'm going to hit create. And what we have is a boilerplate program. And if I run it, it counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's nothing special about this. This is just boilerplate code, but it gives us a starting point to make sure that our Kotlin IDE environment is all working properly. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring those files in as an external library. So I go to File, Project Structure, and in this case, I'm going to do, as a module. That's how I made it work last time. And I'm going to hit Add as a module here, jars or directories. I'm going to go back to my downloads folder. I'm going to point to this Kotlin JVM jar files. Let's just make sure it's the right folder. Yeah, it has all those files in there properly. And I just want to select the folder. I say OK. And then I'm going to click on there so it's checked. I'm going to say OK. Everything seems fine at this stage. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to my code that's on the other screen over there. And I'm going to do the import. So in this case, it's going to be import dev dot. And so it actually knows the end to that. KTMIDI dot. I think I want MIDI 1 simple, not sample. Simple message, that one. No semicolon in Kotlin. And then here I want to create an object. So val my MIDI object is going to be equal to MIDI 1 simple message. And in this case, I need to have 3 input arguments, all integers. So I'm going to put just 10, 10, 10. I have no idea actually what those do. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get something working here. Proof of concept. Then it's print line. The MIDI message is. And I'm going to do my MIDI object like that. So I'm going to print out the object like this. Unlike Java, there's no semicolons. I'm going to hit run. And we can see that now it has printed out a value for the MIDI message. Doesn't really matter what that is, but what we're showing here is that we were able to use the KTMIDI library inside of a Kotlin program. There you go.